Hello everyone and welcome to another video on JavaScript programming. Hope you guys are doing well. Kaushal this side from SimplyCode, and today we are going to discuss objects in JavaScript. Before we begin, make sure that you have subscribed to our YouTube channel and press that bell icon to never miss an update from SimplyCode. So in the last video, we discussed arrays in JavaScript. Arrays fall under the category of complex data types, right? Today we are going to discuss another kind of complex data type, that is objects in JavaScript. Objects are the most powerful and the most used data types in JavaScript. So far we have seen that we can use a single variable to store a value. The value can be a string or a number or any other type of variable. After that, we have seen arrays in which we can store multiple values, like we can store lists in arrays. So let's take a scenario here, and let's say we have a piece of code. We are taking a variable, let's say var car manufacturer, and the value of this car manufacturer will be Audi, a string, right? Next up we have another variable. Let's say we have a variable car model, and the value of this will be, let's say, car from Audi is Q7. Then we have another variable, let's say where price of this car, and the price will be, let's say, $50,000 US. Alright, next up we have a function. Let's say we are using a function that is all-wheel drive. So we are having a function all-wheel drive, the opening and closing curly braces for the body of the function, and inside this all-wheel drive function we are using document.write, and here what we will write, let's suppose this car comes with quattro all-wheel drive. Quattro, I hope you guys are aware of this word quattro. It means that four-wheel drive. Next up we will call this all-wheel drive function here. So here's the data about a particular car from a particular brand Audi, right? So the car model is Q7 and the price of this car is $50,000 US. So these are the three different things we are storing for a car of a particular brand. Next up we have a function which states the capability of the car. The function here is the all-wheel drive, which means that this car comes with four-wheel drive instead of general front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive. So this function is the behavior of the car, right? It shows that the car is four-wheel drive. Things are pretty sorted here, right? We have the data about the car and a function associated with it. So let's save this and we can see the output here. The car comes with quattro all-wheel drive. So this is a basic piece of code, right? We have been through functions, we know how to use functions, we know how to call them. So that's quite easy for now, right? The problem occurs when we have a list of cars. Let's say that we have to maintain 100 different cars with all the data of car manufacturer, we have car model, price, and then we have different behaviors for different cars. Not all cars have the all-wheel drive property. So what we will do in such a case, where we have to use the same property again and again for 100 different cars or 100 different entities, we can copy paste this same piece of code repeatedly, and we have to change the value every time we copy paste it. So we have to change the variable name, the car manufacturer, the car model, and the price as well. Imagine we are doing this for a list of cars. Then it goes on and on. So this is the most inefficient way of tackling this problem, right? This is where the concept of objects come into play. These objects help us to bundle all these properties and attributes about one particular entity. If we talk about this particular example of a car, we can put all these properties and many other properties like car weight, we have car color, and so on together under one name and make it an object. Let's move on to the syntax for objects in JavaScript. We'll do it for this same program. We'll use objects. Now let's go ahead and have a look at the syntax for objects. So before we start, there are few ways in which we can create objects in JavaScript. We are going to discuss two different ways of doing so. The first one is the literal way, also known as the literal object way. So the syntax for literal object way goes like this. Let's say we are declaring a variable var_car and curly braces. So these curly braces represent that this car variable is actually an object. Inside this, we will define all the car's properties, that is whatever data we want to store about the car, like car manufacturer, car model and price in this particular scenario. So let's use them here. So we have car manufacturer and the car manufacturer is Audi, right? Next up we have car model. Car model is Q7. Finally we have the price, which is $50,000. So you can identify the difference here inside the object, right? When we declare a variable, we usually use the equals to sign for assignment, but here in objects we use the colon and we are using commas here because we have some more properties. So these three are the properties. For this object car, we have three properties associated with it. We can also add this all-wheel drive function inside the object, and when we use this function inside the object, it will be called a method. Whenever we use a function inside a class or an object, so it is known as a method. Keep this thing in mind, guys. So that syntax is also a bit different when it comes to methods inside an object. The syntax for that will be, we have to write here all-wheel drive and we'll use the colon. Then it is a function, so we'll write here function with opening and closing round brackets and the body of the function. So what we want to write here is, we want this function to return the value, right? We want this function to return this value. So we'll copy it from here and we'll paste it here. So we want this function to return this value. So we'll write here return instead of document.write. Now this function will return this string that this car comes with a quattro all-wheel drive. So if you want to change this string a little bit, you can change, because we have already used this string in the previous program we did. So let's suppose we'll write here four-wheel drive. Now this will be easier for you to understand this. So this is what an object looks like. Our object is entirely ready. What we did here is we bundled all these things and coupled them. We bundled all these things. We bundled all the three variables. We bundled this function. We bundled all of them together inside a single variable. And now this particular variable car is an object. Now if we want to access these properties of the object, like car manufacturer, car model, etc., whatever properties we have here, so what we have to do is we have to use document.write. So it is quite simple. So after this object, we'll write here document.write, and to access this object, what we have to do is we have to use the object name with the dot operator and the property name. So if we want to, let's suppose we'll use here car dot and the property name will be car underscore manufacturer. So here is the syntax. The syntax is quite easy. You can see here we have used the car object with the dot operator, and then we have the property name, whatever property we want to access. So let's save this program now and see. Here it says Audi. By using this dot operator, we can access any property of the car. Not just a property, we can access the method as well. So if we want to access the method, like if we want to access this all-wheel drive function, we can do it simply by writing here car dot, and we'll write here instead of this, we'll write here all-wheel drive, and we are good to go. So if we save this now, so here you can see it says this car comes with four-wheel drive. So it is quite easy to access these properties of an object. So we can do it by using this. Now suppose we call this function normally with the document.write inside the function in place of return. So if we write here document.write, it's normal, like how we normally call a function. So if we write here document.write inside this function, and we can call this function by the normal method. Like if you are calling this function from outside, what we'll do, we'll write here car dot and the function name. So if we save this now, here you can see the string is printed on the browser. This car comes with 4-wheel drive, and you can see here we didn't use any H1 tag or H2 tag, so you can spot the difference, right? So that's how you can call a method of an object from outside. This is the normal way. So now you guys might be wondering, what if we want to add more cars into this? We can copy paste it again to do so and change the value of properties again. It is the same thing we can do with the variables. So this is where the following way of creating objects come into the picture, in which we use something different known as object constructor. That's a bit different from other object-oriented programming languages. So don't worry if you don't know about it. Also, in the newer versions, JavaScript supports the concept of classes and objects. So what we used to say earlier is JavaScript is an object-oriented scripting language because it does not support the concept of classes and objects fully. But now the scenario has changed. JavaScript do support the concept of classes and objects, but we'll keep it a bit simple. So let's comment this code as well, and we'll use this code for reference. So we'll comment this, that's why we are not removing it, but we can remove this piece of code. So let's remove it and let's move on to use a second way of creating an object. Now we will create multiple objects using a single template, which is known as a constructor function. Let's have a look at the syntax for this method. So we'll write the function keyword, and we have named this function as cars, and in parentheses we will provide the properties as parameters. So these are the properties. We have car manufacturer, we have car model, and we have car price. So these are the properties which we used in the previous code as well. So here we have also used these properties, so we'll keep it that way only. Now inside a function, these parameters are known as arguments. So if we talk about the naming convention, so these parameters are known as arguments. So let's move on to the body of the function, and inside the body we will use this keyword here. This keyword refers to the object it belongs to. So here in this program, this will refer to the object basically. So what we are doing here is, whenever we are creating any object using this constructor function, we will pass specific values like the car manufacturer, car model, and the price, all of these values. So all these values will be present at the RHS. So let me write this first. Let's say we are using this dot and the property name car manufacturer. We'll write here car manufacturer. So all these values will be present at the RHS, and the actual property of the object will be this dot car manufacturer. So this is the actual property of this method. You will understand it much better when we create the object. For now, let's mention here the other two properties and method as well. So let's use the other two properties, which were this dot car model, and we'll write here car model. The last one was this dot price. We'll write here price. Let's add the method here as well. Inside the constructor function, we'll use this keyword again to add the method. The syntax will go like this. We'll use this dot all-wheel drive, and this is a function. So we'll write here function with the opening and closing round brackets, and then we have the body of the function. Inside the body of this function, we will write whatever we have written in the previous program. So we'll copy it from here and we'll paste it here. Right, so this is a complete constructor function. Now using this constructor function, we can create multiple objects of this car type. So this constructor function works like a template, or like the classes work in other languages like C++ and Java. So let's create an object here. So we'll create a variable here. Let's say we are creating a variable C1. Now we'll use the new keyword and along with the constructor function. So we'll use here cars, and we'll pass the values for all the three properties. So here you can say we have the car manufacturer as Audi, and next up we have the model as Q7 and the price is 50,000. Okay, so we have created a variable, we have passed the values for the properties, and now if we want to access this function, if we want to access this all-wheel drive function, we can access this as well. We have to write here c1.allwheeldrive, and this is how you can call a function. If we save this program, see here it says this car comes with 4-wheel drive. So if you change anything here, let's suppose we are using here h2 tag. If we save this program now, see you can see the change here. So we are calling this function here and this will be printed on the browser. So this string will be printed on the browser. Let's create another variable here. Let's say we are using var c2, and the syntax will be same for this as well. We'll write here new cars and we'll pass the values here. So let's say we are using BMW, and next up we have the model as X7, and the price of this car is, let's say, 40,000. Okay, 40,000 USD. So if we want to access any particular property of any object, like if we want to access the car model or if we want to access the car manufacturer, so we can do it the same way as we did previously, as we did in the literal object way. So to do so, we have to write here document.write, and it was quite simple. So we have to write here the object name dot and whatever we want to print. Let's say we are printing here car model. So if we save this now, you can see here X7 is printed on the browser because X7 is the value of object C2. And let's suppose if we want to print here car manufacturer, save it, and see here you can see we have BMW as the output on a browser. Similarly, we can access the price as well. Let's save it now and see here it says 40,000. So this is how we can create multiple objects in JavaScript. So that's all for this video, guys. See you in the next one where we will go through few more aspects of objects in JavaScript. So if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. If you have any doubts, do let us know in the comments below. Share it with your friends and don't forget to subscribe Simply Code. Thank you.